Salute, ladies. Today's lesson is about second declension masculine nouns and also masculine adjectives that end in an R. And this lesson goes along with lesson 14 in your Latin for Americans textbook. Okay, so what do I mean second declension masculine nouns that end in an R? Some second declension masculine nouns end in an R in their nominative singular instead of a US or an IUS, which you have seen up until now. When you have these kind of nouns, the nominative and the vocative are the exact same thing. Now, here's where you need to be a little careful about these particular nouns. You get the noun base by removing the I from the genitive singular. The reason why this is important, as you can see from these two examples, is that sometimes the E that is present in the nominative drops out in the genitive. So the noun base for puer, pueri is going to be puer, but the noun base for ager, agri is going to be agr. Okay, so the E has dropped out. And all the other endings of the second declension, you're going to put on this noun base without the E, and that's important. All other second declension endings are the same, and there you go. Now, I should tell you, some adjectives end in an R in the nominative singular masculine. And the way that you get the adjective base for these is you remove the A from the feminine nominative singular. And again, you have to be careful about this because some adjectives, the E is going to stay in the stem. So for liber, libera, liberum, when we take the A out, take the A off, excuse me, our stem is liber. But for sacer, sacra, sacrum, when we take the A off, our base no longer has the E in it. Okay. You can see here, noun base is puer, adjective base is ager, noun base is ager, liber, and sacer, sacra. Okay, so let's just review what we know about second declension nouns. They can be masculine or neuter, although you don't know the neuter endings yet. We're going to learn those in a couple of lessons. We know that, now we know at least, that the endings for the nominative can be a US, an IUS, or an R. Okay? Now, the vocative is dependent upon what the nominative ending is. If the nominative ending is a US, the vocative ending is an E. If the nominative ending is an IUS, the vocative ending is a single long I, right? Different from what the nominative plural or genitive singular look like. And if the nominative is an R, the vocative is an R. This is true of both for second declension masculine nouns and for masculine adjectives. Okay, that's important. Now, if the adjective ends in a US in its dictionary entry, it still ends in a US in the nominative singular, even if the noun it is describing ends in an R. Now, what I mean, the reason why I'm making a big deal out of this is because sometimes you're going to have a noun, right, such as puer, and you're going to have the adjective good describing it. Good, bonus, bona, bonum, the masculine form of good is bonus, and it's always going to be bonus. So if you want it to describe puer, it is going to be puer bonus. Okay, you do not change the ending that an adjective has in its dictionary entry. If it has a US in its dictionary entry, it keeps the US no matter what masculine noun it's describing, even if that masculine noun ends in an R. So let's look at a couple of examples. We have puer, pueri. We already know that its noun base is puer, right? And this is how it declines. Puer, pueri, puero, puerum, puero, puer. See, the nominative and the vocative singular are the same. And then pueri, puerorum, pueris, pueros, pueris, pueri. And again, notice that the endings e, o, o, e, orum, is, os, is, e aren't different. Okay, the only thing that's different here is the nominative and therefore the vocative. Let's take a look at how ager, agri, a field, declines. Now, as we already know, we take the I ending off. Its noun base is ager. So, ager is the nominative and therefore the vocative. But then the noun base, onto which we're going to add the o, e, es, os, es, e, does not have the e. So it's ager, agri, agro, agrum, agro, ager, agri, agrorum, agris, agros, agris, agree. Now, why don't we take a look at how they can decline with adjectives? So we have noster, nostra, nostrum. Again, we get the adjective base by removing the a from the feminine singular. Nominative, which means we have no e in our adjective base. So it's going to be puer noster, pueri nostri, puero nostro, puerum nostrum, puero nostro, puer noster. And then in the plural, pueri nostri, puerorum nostrorum, pueris nostris, pueros nostros, pueris nostris, and pueri nostri. Now, what happens when we have a second declension masculine noun that ends in er, but an adjective that ends in us? So let's say we want to talk about the big field. It's an ager magnus. Now, the endings are going to be the same until we get down to the vocative, because if you have a us in the nominative, you have an e in the vocative. And if you have an r in the nominative, you have an r in the vocative. So ager magnus in the vocative becomes ager magne. And then in the plural, obviously the endings are going to be exactly the same. But notice we don't put an R on magnus because the dictionary entry for big is magnus, magna, magnum. We can't change that ending. US is its nominative ending. There's no changing that. Okay. Please come with any questions and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day.